How do you increase the conversion in your webinars and in your presentation? By tapping into emotions. This is what we're going to talk about this video. If you don't know me, my name is Simone Vincenzi. I'm a webinar and conversion expert. And this is a follow-up from our podcast interview I did with a fantastic Chantal Davison on the power of emotions in copywriting. So check that out because that creates also the frame for this video. And that made me reflect about how do we inject emotions and persuasion into any presentation that we do, whether it's on webinars or whether it's in person. And there is one key that I think is important to understand, that the more someone feels understood, the more likely they are to trust you. And in the interview with Chantal, we actually talked about this because someone wants to feel seen, they want to feel heard. So one of the best things that you can do in your presentations or in your webinars is to really describe what the life looks like of your ideal client. What kind of things they have tried didn't work. What kind of things they are hoping for that they don't know if they are possible or not. What kind of mental barriers they have that stops them from actually implementing what is that you are selling. Because this is the key. Ultimately, your presentation, your webinar, the entire presentation is designed to connect, is designed to handle objection, is designed to answer all the questions that are in this conscious and subconscious mind of the person that you want to sell to. And when someone feels understood, when you describe their day, when you describe what they've done, when you handle some of the objections even before they have a chance to say it, now they think, wow, you really know your stuff. I want to give you an example on how we implemented this principle, because this is one of the parts and the moments that converts the most in my webinars. Of course, webinar expert, I do a webinar on webinars. I know, right? And one of the segments that I talk in my webinars is that it's called the number one reason why webinars fail to convert. And what I talk about is how people spend a month putting together this incredible training. You think about everything that you want to share, everything that you want to talk about, and you create this beautiful slide deck. And then you're there, you deliver the webinar, you're in front of an audience. Maybe it's a larger one, maybe it's a smaller one. And everyone says, oh my God, this is awesome. And no one buys. Then your webinar gets a lot of compliments, but it gets no sales. So what you've done, you delivered a great training and not a great sales webinar. Because a sales webinar needs to have different elements in place. The success of a sales webinar is determined not by the compliments that you receive, but the number of people that ultimately buy or want to buy. So now this is a segment of my presentation and the webinar that I deliver. It's one of these segments that gives me the most amount of clients and the most amount of sales. It's one of these segments where I ask people, why did you buy? It's because they said, I understood why my webinars didn't work. I was delivering a training, not a sales webinar. Let me learn how I can do this. What is that for you? What is that thing for you? What is the thing that you know that your ideal clients have tried to do over and over again, and maybe they've tried the wrong way, thinking that it was the right way, and then said, oh, this doesn't work. Because once you find out what kind of other things your potential clients have done or have tried that didn't work, and then you can give them a different answer, or you can let them understand why it didn't work out, then you have established authority, you have established connection, and you help them understood the mistake they have made and how they can do it in a different way. So now it creates an opening, and the opening will lead to a sale. So one of the things that I do before creating any presentation, in particular, if I want to move someone towards an action, I'm looking at who they are, what are they struggling with, what are their hopes, what are their fears, what are the things that they have tried that didn't work, what are the things that they are currently trying and struggling with, because I can put them all part of my presentation. And that's where a presentation goes from okay to great, because every single thing that you say actually talks to a different segment of the audience in front of you, handling their objection and moving them towards the sale. So this reflection was inspired by the podcast interview that we just did with Chantal Davison. I'll tell you the title right now, I got it written here. AI Speed, Human Heart. How emotion-driven copy and AI are the keys to higher conversion. So check it out, because we talk about a lot of these principles. In that case, we talk about copywriting and written copy and how actually it integrates and how AI plays a game into it. But ultimately, words are words. I use them for webinars and presentations. but also use the same principle with written copy. And so that's what we are doing in the interview. And this is the principle that I wanted to share with you as an expansion and a reflection from that. So make sure you check that episode. And also I'd love to know, what other things would you like to learn about creating presentation deck? Because I think that with the AI going mainstream right now, there's going to be a lot of faceless brands, a lot of poor content, and what's really going to work is that human connection. There is nothing better than creating sales at scale and connecting at scale than a real live presentation, whether it's a webinar, whether it's a live event. And I think that the more content, the more the internet is going to be flooded with faceless content that is going to be probably quite average as well, then the real connection and having that skill is going to become even more important. So any question that you have, any skill that you would like to learn, I've been doing this and geeking out on these things for the past 14 years, made a few millions along the way, and I love to share them with you. So what you'd like to learn, let me know below, and I cannot wait to see you next time. And always remember that together we grow exponentially.